Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Talk
Woohoo!
Your Face Off,
Yes.
where
Yes,
Pablo
yes.
comes to talk his face off.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just here to be a sidekick.
I was actually wondering, we were kind of talking a little bit offline about doing one of those preloaders, if we should do one of those again.
Oh,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. We totally need an intro.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
With
like,
somebody being like, the two coolest guys in the RC industry come together on this special night to talk your face off.
Yes, sir.
Have little jib jab guys of us dancing around with our
Yeah.
mouths open. Hey, how's it going, you guys? Radioactive Scale RC, Smell Your Finger RC,
I
Hey
saw
Jesus.
that. I was like, that's a cool name.
Mere Deep Molds RC.
Yes,
I like our
sir.
complementing colors right now, like the purple to red kind of ratio is
Yes,
pretty cool.
it is. It
Skin
is.
tonish is pretty good with our new Mac Apple cameras.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yes,
How's it going,
sir.
Adam Tebin? Super one-handed. Jack's Food and Music. Two clowns. That's probably better.
I like it.
Two RC clowns.
Yeah. Chopping it up.
Man, I just got home, so I'm gonna be all over the place tonight.
That's good.
Uh,
That's
I
good.
was at my mom's house doing construction work for her with
Mm.
my brother, trying to open up a doorway that she had closed off 20 years ago, something like that. Long time ago, longer than 20 years ago,
How many coats of paint were over it?
30 years ago. Uh, Not many.
Yeah.
Uh, Luckily for us, my dad, when he did it, kind of did one of the jobs that was I have a feeling I'm going to have to open this up again later job.
Yeah. Yep.
So he was really good at drywall, and he taped it into the existing doorway, mudded it over, made it smooth. But on the backside, which was in the laundry room,
Uh-huh.
he just to the door frame tacked in a piece of plywood and then made this shelving unit off of that.
Oh,
So we literally
nice.
pulled that out,
It's like a hidden
and then he
door.
had 2x4s and stuff in there that we just pulled out and then pushed the drywall out, and there was a door. Boom. I mean, the house though is like definitely there's photos of it 1890 something, but I think
Oh,
in some
wow.
aerial stuff or whatever that they think it was built in like 1865, the first versions
Wow.
of it. Smaller than it was added onto over the years, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's old. So nothing is square. So
Oh, yeah.
putting in a door meant like getting a door, cutting it.
Or it's not to
Luckily,
code,
we
so
didn't
it's
have to shave it. So normally you have to shave parts of
yeah,
it off because nothing's square.
right.
But we just kind of cheated it in for what it is. But yeah,
Nice. Yeah, that's the hard thing about buildings and structures like that is that sometimes you get doors back 60 years ago weren't as wide as they are now.
nope.
And so you start running into issues like that.
There,
And
it was 32 and a half inches wide. So we got a 32-inch door. But then we had to take it off the frame because the frame is 34. And then we
yeah,
tried to mount it. But we were going to, cut out or chisel out, the spots to inset we're like, well, we can't inset these because there won't be enough to latch.
oh,
We
right.
just literally screwed them into the facing without cutting them in. And
Yeah,
it actually worked really good in the end. So,
nice.
yeah, a lot of cheating, but it worked. But
That's good.
we're here to talk about RC cars
Yes,
and
sir.
crawler courses and all kinds of stuff today. I
Big
started on
matrix.
one.
Yes.
So you're talking about doing one outdoors.
Yeah, so I don't know if everyone here in the chat knows what my situation is, but I have like a full on I started it pre-pandemic. It's a new thing to say, right?
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic.
Yep.
I started it back then with like a little short course track and a crawling course, and it served us so awesome during that
Yeah.
time. I mean, we were still able to go and do stuff, but it was still we had plenty of time back there. Lots of footage, all that kind of stuff. And so it's gone through iteration and iteration. Like every year I change it twice about. And I used to do like monster truck stuff back there, so I had like a full on monster jam arena sometimes, and then short course track sometimes, then crawling in the middle of it and crawling on the outside. So it was very versatile. Um, and now it's time, man. Now it's time to change it up. And I think I was going to talk to you about this because I'm struggling. I'm on the struggle bus with this because I feel like the new design that I have is not monster truck friendly.
It's not. I saw your design.
Yeah, and it's like, but
Especially if you don't leave an area in the middle of the course, like
I
to
know,
have flat.
right?
Like if you could do that outer area that you do for your racing, but then have flat spot in the middle where you could still use your jumps and some of the other stuff of the course, but then
Right.
throw out some ramps and be good. But
Right, right. Well, and the big picture is that I think we've outgrown our ability to drive has outgrown our track layout. And so we have to make it tighter to make it harder, all that kind of stuff. Because we're
yeah,
basically just running short course slashes out there. Um, but we're literally in the summertime, we're 10 minutes away from a full-on 8 scale track, a turf track, and a big RC playground.
and so you can go do the racing scene there and leave your backyard more to crawling and monster trucking.
Well, yes and no. So the thing
Just
is
calling it
that
like I see it, bro.
well, the thing is the track there has straightaways that I could go out and put my folded ramps on, and we could do like Penda style racing, or I could put a ramp out there. I could probably talk to the owners there and maybe even talk to them about carving out a section for monster truck kind of stuff. Um,
So you don't want to do monster trucks in the backyard. You want to do them at the course now.
well, here's the thing: you got me into the LMT life,
Yep.
that LMT lifestyle, and I feel like my course is a little too small for the stuff I want to do with the
With the
LMT.
LMP. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just I can't really open it up that big. I can't get huge air, which is cool because I could, it's scale ish, but uh, I was thinking if I wanted to, that I could carve out an area in the dirt part that you saw and do mini monster trucks in the dirt, that kind of thing. And then when I want to go big, go to the big course and have fun out there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I guess that kind of leads into a segue of the man-made versus the natural stuff, man. That's a tough debate, and it's hard because you
Well,
don't.
and it's I think a little more than because man-made can still be natural.
Sure.
We have to designate like you can man make it. Most of it is man-made that we're going to
Uh-huh.
run on. Or we're talking about either way, it's man-made. But I think what we're talking about is natural materials versus
Right.
cardboard and all kinds of stuff that
Yep.
has, styrofoam and
Yep.
all that kind of jazz put
Yep.
on it
Yep.
with
100%.
the plaster or cement or whatever you want to use.
Right.
So that's definitely a point to talk about. Remind me to talk to you about LMT after too. So,
Okay. Okay.
I see some of the guys on Instagram talking about some things with all that going on, monster trucks. So just remind me.
Okay.
Todd Smith says you got to come to Virginia. World Finals is right around the corner, only a few months away in May, Memorial Day weekend.
That'd be fun.
Black Market RC messing with these minis RCs is tough. He's got a spoiler alert, I think, in there maybe for us.
Yes.
I don't know what he has or has not said, but I think he's got spoilers.
Easter eggs, if you will.
Smell your finger says I got the cheat code. Don't tell nobody. No.
Ooh.
All right, we did not just tell anybody. And I have two. I'm supposed to be working on one this week, but I got thrown two curveballs. I'd said I was going to work on it this week. And I started working on that crawler course. And then I said I was going to do a podcast on the RC cars model trains. At which point, Jason's RCs contacted me about my post about building a course.
Uh-huh.
And through that, I'm like, hey, do you want to be on this podcast to talk about it? Like, and talk about your course and all the, because you're one of the model truck nerd guys, builders. And And then he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's do it. And I went out to and had no internet, couldn't connect,
Oh
on and off.
no.
He's waiting for me. Total headache. Spent the rest of the day, hours, like 6 hours, trying to fix the internet I had and restart it and just like clear all the nodes out of Linksys Velop system. Garbage.
Ugh.
Now it is. It was okay for a while, but none of them would even connect to the phone to even reboot or even have a new starting parent node. And
Yeah.
so frustrating. End up at Best Buy buying all new modem, all new thing. And I was going to test if the new Wi-Fi didn't work, I was going to then switch the modem because something was wrong. I didn't know what it was.
Sure.
So at this point, I'm taking the modem back because I got the Google Nest mesh and it's wicked. Took 15 minutes to set it up, had internet flying, and now we've got a good stream, I believe, which is good for this too, because I was dropping out on you guys and going all grainy, and you're playing with rubber balloons over there.
You can hear that?
Yeah, it's making like little
ASMR sounds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Scale Rat, yo, nice win yesterday. So wild. So last week on Operation 11 Charlie, we'll segue into the minis from this. I think it's a good segue, even though you'd already segued, and then I took us away from that segue.
So we're going to segue back to the segue?
We're going to segue back to where we were. Scale Rat. So
we're gonna,
he was on.
We're going to, what do you do? We're going to circle back.
Right. I need to grab a prop. Hold on.
Oh, a prop. So why don't you guys think about that while we're getting to start about this, about committal. When you're building a space that's an RC crawler space or a track or something like that, what's the point that you guys commit for a long-term kind of a thing? Okay, go.
So Scale Rat's just sitting there and he's got this like cool TRX4 just like in front of him, or he's got it pictured in or something. I think he might have had it set on something like a body or whatever. Okay. And I was like, well, hey, how do we get one of those? Like, are you selling those or what?
Uh-huh.
And then he mentioned that they were doing a raffle for Operation 11 Charlie.
Oh.
And so I was like, all right. And so last week I went on and put in, I don't remember how much I put in, 40 or 50 bucks, I believe.
Nice.
Toward it. You know, they're $10 raffle tickets.
Sure.
I don't remember what I put in, but I was hoping to get some good things toward it. They had it last night, the raffle, and I won it. So
nice.
It's a camel trophy truck style, and camel series.
Yeah.
Is that what they call this trophy series? Yeah. But he has this like cut out in the back, so it's truck bedded Defender.
Oh, cool.
And done some cool work, and it's got like, it looks like it's got like brown dirt kind of up all on the yellow. It looks really sick. Anyway, after that, I remember that there was guys on eBay selling the bodies already cut like that. So I went on there to look for them, and I found this. And so I actually ordered this because of him.
And then you won it.
Jurassic Park body. I only bought the body. I didn't buy the truck.
Okay.
He had a camel one, and I'm so glad I didn't buy it. The same guy that I bought this Jurassic Park from, because I just won that. And if I'd have won something else probably from Operation 11 Charlie, I'd have probably said spin again or whatever, like
sure,
re-up.
Sure.
But because I know I'm doing this course, I want to get like stickers on it for Operation 11 Charlie.
Sure.
And use it as like a talking point every time I have the video to talk about Operation 11 Charlie in that video, as just kind of a launch pad to
totally
to it. So, and I'll put some of my parts on it, that kind of stuff, do a whole build series with that, with my brass parts, and then in each one talk about where this truck came from, and as I do it on the course. So yeah,
that's rad, dude.
Yeah, he also did a Jurassic Park Bronco.
Oh, that's
he's got some definite inspiration for me. I did a Jurassic Park Gladiator for my son, and so that's actually what put me over the edge to get this Jurassic Park one. Is like, oh, it'd be cool to have one for them each.
Yeah.
And then I'm also glad now, because having a cool camel trophy truck, it would have been lame if I just bought one too. So yeah. That's but yeah, rad. Comments are blowing up. all black market RC will say is that the mighty handy tool came in handy so much.
Nice.
You need to offer mini needle nose. Mini needle nose are great. Actually, the best thing is like those little freebie things that stab you all the time. I keep them on this shelf right here.
Yep.
These you get them with like your these ones are bent, but cricket and whatever, like vinyl peelers.
Vinyl. Yep.
These are awesome. They'll even hold like the little nuts and whatever.
Until they go underneath your fingernail, then they're not awesome.
They are not awesome when they do that, and it happens.
I know.
Or they get in your thumb. They're. I usually keep them stuck. I have the Cow RC mats. I just moved them over there because the door that I have as my desk actually is the door that goes onto the crawler room we're building. And so I need to be able to close the door so the cats won't destroy it.
Yeah. He was using a pair of flush cuts, he says, to hold the nuts on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the wrong two, brother.
These work good to just kind of hold it in place. Put a little bit of sticky red and tacky on them or whatever to help hold it. But yeah, so all that to say, I'm gonna pick it up, I believe, at USTE and be able to run it there.
Oh yeah, you're going.
Since I'm going to USTE. So here's the deal. Let's talk about the mini crawler courses. So I put up a video. I've been talking about doing this in somewhere for a long time here. Like, where can I do it? And do I actually convert my old studio or my studio into a crawler course? And since I don't go out there much anymore, and just take stuff out of there and do it, or what? And then, but the problem is the same thing. Going over there when it's snowy or bad weather or late at night, and you don't want to, So we decided that we'd take over one of the boys' rooms that was in the basement that was just kind of being used, but not really. And we opened up another space for my son that was using that room that is better for him, I believe. And we have the ability to shut a door because that's key with having cats. And if we wanted to do real dirt and you have cats, you have to have a way to not let them turn it into a large scale kitty litter box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
you'd be building log cabins.
Yeah. So I threw it out there. I'm like, what, people, I want suggestions. Do I go the full dirt route? Yeah. And if I do, I don't just mean any dirt. I mean clay, like a mix of fill dirt clay.
Right.
Which has the potential of having bugs in it or other things, if you bring it in from outside. I would probably use an insecticidal spray mist on it to just kind of help in the beginning, kill anything that might be there.
Yeah.
But the other option is doing a lot of people use styrofoam,
right?
And they'll cut those sheets and stack them and glue them. And if I did that, I would have to put plaster cloth over it because it just wears too much.
It looks so much better when you put plaster cloth over it.
Yeah.
Too. Like it gives it a much after you paint it, because then you could paint it. When you paint just that foam, when you paint just that foam, it doesn't really react well with the foam a lot of the time. So the cloth definitely helps out a lot.
So there's that. There's the idea of mixing that with just some rocks on the course, or I'm definitely, there's a lot of. So here's what I don't want to do. And a lot of people have sent me really awesome stuff, like pictures. I mean, the engagement from it has been insane. So many people willing to help.
That's rad.
So many good ideas even.
Yeah.
The one thing that I want to make sure that it is not or does not become, and this is kind of the railroad talk and topic Jason and I talked about, is that so much of that style of building and that hobbyist bent on making a course makes it very much follow the path. And it's fun for about 3 weeks.
Meaning follow the path. If you have a set cut path through this, that's the part that I'm talking about, committing. Like that's the hard part, is that sometimes you have to commit to know you only have 2 lines in this section.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. But how do you not, like, yes, I agree.
Some obstacles are going to be that way anyway, but it's the rest of the course.
Right.
There's so many that use like things that go up and swirl around, and like you're on these path like bridge things that go up things.
Right.
if I'm going to do that, I just want it to be a hill, and I'll just find a
Yep.
path that goes up it and zigzags around. I don't want to like build in all bridges and all type of
Right.
like
Well,
almost mountain bike obstacles, like trail
that
with
was
wood
my
objects and
suggestion.
popsicle sticks.
Yeah, see, that was my suggestion about terracing it so that you can, because like what I was talking about hero, I mean, you know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
in the comments, but I don't know if other people get it. Like the hero shot, like when you're taking a nice tight shot of your truck, the mini courses are hard because of the depth of field on a mini course.
Uh-huh.
And so if you had that where it was terraced, you could have the center lane or even near lane so that you can have that depth behind it and still have all
Yeah.
that texture and stuff. But the nice thing about that is that having it terraced, and it doesn't, I mean, when I think of when
You
I
could have
say
a divot that goes down below, but you want to have some upper parts. The back is going to be definitely higher in the
right, right.
corners
Yep.
are going to be elevated. And so I'll for a couple reasons. You can't really reach back there a whole lot.
Sure.
But if it falls, I want it to roll toward us away from
Right,
the
right.
so it'll be the highest points, like in
Yep.
flat up to there.
Yep.
Probably one of them will be up and then stay up for a little while,
Right.
like kind of
That's what
flat,
I
but
would.
have
Yep.
like on top of that have different axle twisters and logs or whatever
Yeah.
up there
Yep.
that can hang people up. The one thing that I don't like about the plaster cloth, the more that I think about it, is the gates that we use are hard to insert
That's
in plaster
okay.
cloth.
Well, and the problem is it'll crack and peel away from the seams and stuff like that. That is a problem. That's yeah, that's the one that I see being the biggest issue. The other thing, I mean, that's a nice thing about the foam, like the great stuff foam, you can pin right into that, which is nice. But yeah, it's like you got to commit, right? You got to commit to like knowing your gates are going to be in this area, left or right, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, and that's the hard part. Harley goes,
Yeah.
"How long until you're busy flocking trees?"
I'm not gonna do a little village like
Right.
why am I blanking on his name? Turks and Jerps. His
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
um
That's what
oasis for RCs that he's built is one of the coolest things I
that's what
think
KLN was
in the
telling me.
RC world that's been
Yep.
created.
Yep.
It's next level, like top shelf, top of the
Yep.
game. Mine is not gonna be that. I'm more of a well, with these minis, I'm a performance over everything kind of a guy.
Sure. Yeah.
And so my course is going to be like that, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to change it up. And that's the other thing I like about dirt and rock is I can just take a trowel and be like, man, I hate this hill,
Yeah.
and just like carve into it, you know? So
Yep. Yep. I so I have a so what I would suggest, like my 2 cents on something like that, would be to stick with the dirt and rocks. And you guys have that nice clay out there where it's kind of compactable clay.
oh, it's very hard. Yeah.
And that's super nice. Like out here, the dirt that I get is very sandy. And so, I mean, I could get clay, but the typical like dirt that I would get was very sandy, so it doesn't really clump together well. I actually on my racetrack, I mix it with Portland cement around the jumps so that it stiffens up. But yeah, it's having it with the oh, what are you doing?
Somebody was complaining about Dr. Mario with our colors. Mine's supposed to be purple. He says it looks blue. It looks purple on my nice, beautiful
It looks
Apple
purple to
Studio
me.
display over here.
Yeah, it looks purple to me.
Color accurate display now. So hopefully my videos will look better.
Yeah.
Comment wise, I see a couple in here.
Yep.
First of all, Super One Handed said, got my dad a baby Goliath motor. Oh my goodness, it's smooth and powerful. Can't wait to get myself one. It is very smooth.
It's very nice.
For a brushless or a brushed mini motor.
It's a perfect direct replacement
Yeah.
for stock. I mean, it's better, but it's easy and it just goes in the whole line, man. It
just drops in as it is. Todd Smith, yeah, if you got Lincoln logs for fingers or you got fat fingers, the only way to really work on the 24 scales is magnetic.
Yep.
Drivers. What a difference.
Yep. for sure.
My cool new train scene. So I do have that. I did end up doing that podcast with Jason.
Oh
I had
yeah.
to edit it because at one point he had to go away because his kids had snuck in, and so there's a muted section for a minute or two I have to cut out. Smiggin's Folly, yes,
Yeah.
it is. Crawler Baller also has a very nice indoor course that's a mix of rock and dirt, and very nice rock. The rock he uses is very cool.
The hard thing about rock is it's so heavy when you elevate it, right? And
Yeah,
you kind of have to really build your structure well, because what I liked about yours is that you tied it into your studs,
yeah,
so it's cross braced really well versus like a table, right?
right.
I've been at tables before where the table twists, and you're like, "Ooh, I don't even want to like bounce my
Mine's
truck on that."
you could like park a truck on mine. Like
Yeah, literally
I
a
overdid
24
it.
scale.
I overdid it. Like 16 on center.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Well,
it's
those
gonna
big
be
2x6s or 2x8s, whatever you
two
were
by eight.
using.
Yeah, blew my
Yeah.
shoulder out. 2 by 8 by 12, getting it off the shelf. And
Oh,
the way it was set up and everything, they had them all still tied together, metal
yeah.
bound. They were wrapped in metal. So I was trying to get them off the top from the side and then try and lift it up over. But I'm at the one end, so I'm like all the weight of it's coming on this
Yeah.
left hand lift.
Twisting it.
And I
Yep.
blew my shoulder pretty good out.
Uh,
So but yes, yeah, and we have leg supports in every corner still, even though it's tied
right.
into
Right.
the support beam. So I plan to put rocks on it, and I plan to put dirt on it for sure. It's just how much of it will I do out of other things. Like I'll probably build structures out of wood first, that
Uh-huh.
like in the back before I put my hills up. I will make boxes back there, so I'm not
Yeah.
like just filling with a ton of dirt.
Right. Right.
Since I know that I want each corner to have, well, one to have a big hill climb, and so that I might even put a big angle piece up there.
That's something that's really deceiving for people that don't know, who've never built a 10 scale or a 24 scale. You can never go tall enough with your vertical gains.
Yeah,
Like it's so deceiving. Like I've built, like I did the waterfall out in front in mine for a couple years ago, and it's like it was cool because I made it with some ledges so you could like bounce up it and cross it and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it was going to be way tall, right? Because it was getting up there when I was building it, and it was like meh. It was like 2 car lengths tall when you look at it, and it's like
yeah.
that's just not long enough.
Well,
It's
to minimize the weight of dirt I'm going to have on there, that's why I want to put boards going up it, and I'll probably have different faces, like 3 different faces. One that has more stuff on it, like to hook on, and one that's more just like 2 carved light, like just straight
hmm
hill up it
hmm
speed,
yeah,
and
right.
then yeah, stuff like that. So
That with dirt would be rad.
yeah,
That with dirt would be really cool. It'd be
so
hard, but it'd be really cool. But what you could do is you could do the hard part. Yours, you said, I think in your video, you said it was 36 inches in the corner
it's
out.
36 inches everywhere because
Okay,
4 feet's too far to reach back. So I just
right,
did, but when you're standing at that little cut in to reach all the way back to that corner, you can't get to it. You've only
right.
got,
Well, what I was thinking, what would be cool is if you put, say, you did 2 short 2x4s in the corners, like if you made a pocket shelf that came out, and then you could go from that closest corner of the like out of it and go up and then terrace, then go up, because then you can go a long distance with vertical gain and you can hit it
yeah,
from all around. Like you'd have to go around, you can make a tunnel through there, all that kind of stuff. Like that would
yeah.
be, and then you could pack it with dirt and rocks because you have it
Tunnels don't
supported.
interest me.
They interest you. Come
Tunnels
on.
don't interest me.
You're going to take the foam and
Tunnels are
cut
a
the
simple path.
stones.
Tunnels are a straight through path. Like maybe I would do it if I put rocks and stuff in it, like big like frame twisters.
Yeah,
But I would just get a tube or something to put in there and
sure.
then build over it and then
Sure.
have stuff in it to make it difficult still. Because
Well,
overall, most of the time a tunnel, if it's just as wide as your truck, not worth having to me. Like not for what I want to do with it. But if I make it a big tube and I can have
but,
like different gates inside of it, then
but think
or
of the
things to
kids.
hang up.
The kids think it's cool.
Yeah, and I think bridges are cool. So there'll be a bridge somewhere that'll get you from one point to another, but
Yeah.
probably your metal one that you designed.
Old school.
Yeah, I let it rust before I put it outside for weeks, and then I hit it with clear
Did you?
coat.
Nice.
So I waited for it to get nice and rusty, like a bridge in Pennsylvania, metal
Yeah.
bridge. So yeah,
That's cool.
tunnels for
Yeah.
train tracks. It would be cool to have a train that runs through it and like
Yes.
have it running as you're comping, and like if you get hung up on a gate, you might get hit by the train.
Yeah. Kaylin says, "How about taking off some sweet jumps?"
Yeah, I should have a little area in there for monster truck racing in the middle.
Yeah.
No, but I
You
mean,
four.
that space will go pretty quick. Like if
It's
you're not
surprising.
careful, it's
Yeah.
surprising. It's a big space. I mean, it's 12 feet wide, basically, a little less, like 11 something.
Uh-huh.
So it's decently wide, and then 3 feet deep, plus the arms that stick out. So
Yeah.
it's almost what RC Sparks had for his. It just wraps around corners, which
Sure.
um is cool. So I didn't go with the 4 feet wide, like because he was able to walk around it, so you could access 2 feet from each side to reach.
Right.
I don't
Right.
have that ability for people to, careful how I say that, go around the course and reach for things. If
Yeah.
you can see where I'm going with that.
I do. So I'm having these I'm having these kind of like, what am I doing next with my course? Right. We talked a little bit about losing the monster truck stuff. I think so. On my backside of my fence there, I have an elevated line basically, and that's when we first got into crawlers, and it's like super lame now, right? Like there's not, it's just basically going through the paces of it. I think I'm going to tear all that out and bring it all down and extend it away from the fence more. And I'm having a hard time because I want to do plaster or not plaster, but like stucco on a lot of these forms to make them look more like a Moab, a red,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Um,
Is that why you were sending me videos at 2 a.m. about making rocks out of cardboard? Well, I,
yes.
I woke up that night at 2 a.m. when I got that message, and I did not go back to sleep. I
Sorry.
watched, first of all, that guy's videos for about 2 hours, hour and a
Yeah.
half.
Did you see
They
the
go
ones where
quick.
he was selling it like on a seminar, like his early videos where he was like
No,
selling? Oh, it's
I
hilarious.
watched the 3-part series on that rocks, and then I went and found another one that he had made.
Yeah.
Mountain
Yeah.
Girl, that's a great idea. Bake the dirt before, and that would
Oh, there
kill
you go.
anything in it.
Yeah.
Um, that's not a bad idea.
There you go.
Model train world. See, people get it. It shares a lot of things with the model train world. I was watching Burn Peaks. Is that it? Burn Peaks Express? Burn
I don't
typing.
know.
Burn Peaks. He did a crawler course build. Burn
Outdoor
Peak
24
Express.
scale or 10
Yeah,
scale?
he did a 24 scale course build. And he basically went to a hobby shop and bought all the supplies there.
Sure.
And micro crawler park from garbage, building a lightweight model indoor model course. So he bought he spent the money to get all these colored like dirts and granules and stuff to put
Yep.
on, and like use glue in order to get
The
texture
Mod
and
Podge.
grip.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And then it didn't work very well. And he painted over it anyway, spray painted it all. So like all these different colors and expensive that stuff when he could have just got sand, first of all. But it's a fun watching him kind of go through and realize things aren't working well. And but very, very cool build. If you guys are you should look up building a lightweight. I'm actually going to post a link. I think.
Kalen saying we just jumped the shark and turned into the Dollhouse channel.
Here, I'll post the link for you guys to watch it.
It's like the delicious dish of Dollhouse
Yeah.
RC.
So he did like a 4x8 sheet, but it's awesome what he did with it. totally could do more with it, but it's a great starting point. Seeing how he did it, but he used the trash and which I did back before COVID hit, 3 years ago or so, almost.
Oh,
I'd
I
done
remember.
kind of
Yeah.
a tutorial video on how to do it, just kind of making it up as I went.
I never posted the video. This was before I started doing YouTube stuff, but I made a video. And do you remember me showing you how I used my old beat up bodies and I turned them into mountains?
No.
Oh, dude, I should run out and grab one. They so I have a couple like just 3.5 foot lanes. I did the broken box thing, and then I took my like an old Lexan body truck and cut it up like so it's just the cab and great stuffed around it, and then cheeseclothed over it, and it looks like radiator springs.
Oh,
Like
that's cool.
so, like you can see.
You did send me that because I remember the Radiator Springs part of it. I wasn't sure how you were meaning you did the mountain, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
super
it's like
cool.
built into the mountain. That was pretty rad. So I've actually been thinking, you inspired me to look at my studio background, easy bake oven tips and tricks. Yes.
Yeah, baby.
So you inspired me to kind of clean up my studio space, which
Okay.
is my downstairs, which my TV and couch is over here, and all this is RC stuff behind me. But I was thinking from this level up, taking out the shelves and hanging the trucks, and then for this level extended out
Crawler
just
course.
a little bit and just do a little mini course right there.
Yeah,
Just so I
and
can
then you
take.
could bridge up it. Like you could actually cut a little hole in that top shelf where you could go up
Well, I
and
was
get on
talking
the upper
about.
layer.
Well, I was just talking about taking those two shelves completely out and putting a deck
Oh,
here, and then
okay.
I can just do whatever I want on that deck.
Got it.
But the thing is that my crawler course is 8 feet that way outside this back behind this wall here.
Right.
So, and I do most of the 10 scale stuff, and I'm torn about investing all this time into it because we're into hiking with our cars now.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting all this new stuff all the time. You know what I mean? Like it would be cool so what I want to do it for, and this is like, this is one of those discussions where it's like, why do you do the videos? And it's like, I actually like doing the videos, like as a hobby, like for the video part is part of that for me. I would like to have a space out there where I could do more glam shots, more test scenarios, controlled environment, and have that kind of course that I could do that with. That
Yeah.
looks nice and scale and all that kind of stuff. Like where I could just pop out on any given day and do that versus go for a 8 mile hike in the mountains and get a ton of footage. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot easier to process that. But I'm torn about it. And I'm torn about doing like the concrete and rock stuff versus doing like the wood obstacles. A lot of these 10 scale things have like wood bridges and like the wood things with the uneven articulating things. And it's not really my jam. I like more of like the real kind of digging in on rock and dirt, but it's
Yeah.
really hard. It's really hard to keep the dirt on the rocks without really committing. So,
Yeah, and that's where the clay does help. Clay does
right.
lock in. Like if you start with your rocks down, like certain big ones,
Yeah.
and build a base around it of clay, that way when you chew it out and all that, it's not chewing underneath the rocks.
Right.
It does help, but I mean that's what I'm leaning toward because I have a whole section of clay that I just kind of dropped on the edge of my crawler course outside that isn't in
Sure.
use, and we could just 5-gallon bucket that stuff in and just drop it in. So
All day. Yeah.
um,
I think
I
that
don't
would be
have all
rad.
the rocks squared away. Although Jason's RCs, he calls it like lick and stick or whatever. They're the rocks you put on like the foundations of houses or whatever
Air
to
foam
kind of
rocks.
texture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Those are
they
cool.
make. And so if you stack those with the edges, that are normally at the house sticking out
As like
upright, and
stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, and have them kind of offset so you get. That's a cool option, and putting dirt in and around that. And they have that at Reaction. Jeff Brown says, I built a few crawler structures.
Yeah.
Yes, there's several at his shop, which I would love to. They're joking about coming up to my crawler course here. Mine's kind of in a, like you have to go through a minefield, a Lego minefield to get in there. It's quite dangerous. I don't know if most people would survive.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll hook up my phone in a minute and go
for a walk.
Go that way and show you. I did hang up some LED lighting above it, which is very bright because for filming, we like bright lights.
Right.
So can always step down the light. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm leaning toward the dirt. I might
would
even
do the
just
dirt.
take out the stuff that I've already built. Like, I don't know, throw it away. Or maybe put it up on a shelf, like put a shelf on the wall and just have it still be something to climb on, but make it a wall mounted in the
mean your
back.
cheesecloth stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it'll fit into what I want to do with it. The color's not going to be right because
That's
it's
the
not going to
hardest
have.
thing. Yeah, that's the hardest thing, man. That again, I go back to committing. Like that's just like you commit to it, and then all of a sudden, like I literally have tons of rocks out there. I think you meant 24 crawling is 110 as much fun as 10 scale.
Because Kayla and RC says 24 crawling is better than 10. I like it better. But that's because I can't make my comp trucks in 10 scale. 2 scale perform as well as my 24 scale trucks. I just can't. Because all the build stuff that I put into the 24 scale doesn't necessarily translate to 10 scale and the extra features and stuff that you have available to you in that scale. But what I like about the 24 scale is the group we have is huge. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
My kids are into it. It's inexpensive.
It's easy to get down and do. I mean, like setting your car up to just grab and go.
Yeah.
I think it's a little easier than the 10 scale. I mean, 10 scale is not that bad, but like when you load up your car.
The only time I like 10 scale is when I walk trails with it.
Yeah.
Or I'm outside doing it. I don't like the courses like Jeff's where you have to stand. You can't go out there because one, you're keeping dust down and not tracking it around by walking on the course all the time.
Sure.
But I want to be there on top of the truck looking at it, and
hashtag crawl stance.
Comp stance. So because I can't do that, but with the 24 scale, I can be right over the top of it looking at waist height.
Harley goes, how slow
do you walk?
That's awesome.
But no, like where you get them and they're out there on the course and they're, it's not even about the walking. It's about being out in nature and being able to stand right at it,
yeah.
But
well,
it's different. I haven't quite fallen in love with the 10 scale indoor crawling like I have the 24 scale indoor.
10 scale indoor is very difficult because it's kind of limiting to your point of.
Jeff's right. He says I do that because we have a person in a wheelchair who can't go in and look at it, which is a great reason to do it.
Sure. Our Die Hard course is kind of set up that way here in town, where it's all linear. I mean, there's some kind of double backs in it, but it's like almost a quarter mile, maybe an eighth mile of you kind of just traverse it. But so people that can have access to it to drive can. The thing I think about the indoor courses, they're fun, but unless they're set up to comp, it kind of goes back to that point that we were talking about last week, where it's like, what do you do when you get there, right? They're kind of, the exploration part is kind of not as cool as being outside. And so if they're set up to comp, then you have a direction that you're going.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't really.
You can always make a line. You're just using throttle and it slides, and then you just grab a different line.
Right.
That wasn't what you intended to do, but you didn't roll, so you're just gonna go with it. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So, and you get to just explore. You know what I mean? And like you find these little one of
I'm a
my
fan for putting gates down. Like
yeah.
I should do that when I go further into my review of like parts and what they do for the 24 scale. I realize that when I look back at the first video I did, I should have had gates because it forces you to take the same thing with both times I ran it, before and after the upgrade.
I've been printing my gates out for when we go hiking.
Nice.
So now I got a stack of them so I can do my thing. Did you get to print any more of yours out?
I just printed the one.
Yeah.
And then I started another one and I had a print veil.
Oh,
I'd actually cupped it so that it would sit on textures and rocks and stuff. And it was printing great cupped, but it came unstuck. And
yeah, I tried doing that on one of them that I have here, and the underside just didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I was like,
It's not a one is better than the other. That's the thing. Like, to me, they're different.
It's different tools, man.
Yeah. So I tend to prefer one more over the other for the indoor side of things. But I wouldn't like my 24 scale outdoors on a trail. It's fine in my backyard where you're walking about 8 feet around as you're going. You're not walking, you're just kind of standing there. But yeah, so it's just a little different. What I like about the 10 scales when I can just get out on a trail and walk and explore and find things and like, oh, I wonder if I can do that.
I'm thinking about taking my 24 scale on hikes with me so that I can get footage of both 24 scale out on a hike and the 10 scale on a hike. So what I'm building right now, I'm building wheels for my ultralight carbon fiber low CG bug.
Yep.
And so this thing's going to be super light, and so I can pack it on my backpack for when I go on my long hikes, that I'm not going to be. Sometimes I like to challenge myself where I'm like, I'm going to do 10 miles today and my truck's going to be on the ground the entire way. And that's cool, but sometimes it takes a 10-mile hike and turns it into 8 hours.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's nice to just kind of get to the top of the mountain in 2 hours and then play on the way down, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. But like, for instance, this truck is going to be super light, and then I'm thinking about packing my 24 scale so I can just do some, if I find cool spots, you know what I mean? Because that doesn't weigh much. So
Scale Medical Supplies has been showing some teasers of some little bug builds.
Yep. Those are cool, man. I know, I'm jealous.
I don't have the skills of an artist like you with the builds, and so I'm having him build it.
Yeah.
And the paint job that was done for it is sick too.
Yes, sir. So that's a good segue into.
Let me finish my thought and then segue.
Go.
Keep your segue. Write it down because we're gonna forget. We always do.
Well, it's not going to be as graceful now because you just ruined it.
Well, it's fine. We'll jump to it. I never got to what I was going to say when people were talking about coming to my house and comping and whatever, the invite, whatever. When are the invite coming? What I want to do though is, and I haven't told Jeff this or cleared it, but man, would I love to do like a national comp at his place, like a weekend, like a 2-day,
a 24 scale national comp.
Whoa. Yeah. He's got the courses to do it.
Yeah.
Even if we took over like 10 scale too. So he doesn't know that I'm thinking this would be cool.
That would be so awesome.
It's just an idea.
I could just picture myself on an airplane with my little 24 scale crawler on my laptop, on my tray down table.
Splash down.
Well, being like, people next to me are looking, what's that? And I'm like, well, I'm flying across country to do a national competition in my little toy truck.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. And like, you can't enter unless you show a picture of it sitting on your tray table on your airplane, or like on a table at a McDonald's on your drive. Like
I would
somewhere where
totally do
you do
that.
something embarrassing in public with it.
I would totally do that. I'd wear
But yeah.
my shades the entire way there, be all glammed out.
Hey, Jeremy Smith, what's up? I need to call you, buddy, because the event is coming up. I need to send some sponsor stuff for it. Mine are free roam, he says, Jeff Brown says, and not designed to comp. I would disagree with that. I would say that they are designed for comping. There's very difficult spots for it when you put gates in it, but it's also free roam,
Sure.
which is what I want my course to be. And I think that's what he's getting at. First of all, it's like it's not just follow a path. His is very much go wherever you want, any way you want. But I find the challenge in being when there's gates set up to try and make them. Like, even if I don't follow a whole path or whatever, but it's like, I wonder if I can get through that gate. Like,
Yeah.
if there's just a few set up to just try and tackle,
Yep.
like
Yep.
here's today's challenge, get through these gates. That helps me have structure for it.
Harley goes traveling with it handcuffed to my wrist the whole time.
No, but it would be cool to have like somebody had posted a video about the biggest mini comp the other day. I think it's the guy that makes those tracks for him, 3D prints the tracks for him. Anyway, he posted about being at a place where they had like 50 trucks or whatever, 50 people.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't watch it, but I saw it.
Okay. So it didn't look like the biggest one, but yeah. So there's some stuff I want to talk about. And I need to also talk to some of the bigger companies about the events they're doing and also putting on comps at them. So
that would be cool.
Actually, I'm looking at you. I know you're not watching this, but you're probably pretty pissed off at the king about right now.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, there were 96 trucks at the gauntlet. So
okay, so now we're gonna segue a different way.
All right, you're in.
No, we're segueing a different way. Let's segue into
write the other segue down. There is a segue.
Comps. Yeah. Okay.
Segue.
So we were talking about,
because I'm supposed to be at that with that buggy.
We're going back and forth. Yeah. So now we're got to figure out how we're going to be in more place than one at one time. So we found out that Proline by the Fire is at the same weekend as the Gauntlet.
Dun dun dun.
Yes.
Remember Kronk? Remember Kronk in Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah. So now we got to figure out, and to be honest, I would probably rather go to Michigan than Proline by the Fire.
Ouch.
Maybe. So I was trying to sell it to my wife. Before I found this, I was trying to sell it to my wife because my wife's birthday is around there. I talked to Jeff about that, or that came up on some post that came up. And I was trying to butter her up and say, hey, why don't we make a week out of this and go to Disneyland for your birthday? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, and by the way, there's a big RC Nerd Fest down there. And she goes, okay. But there's another comp that's in California, the same place that I want to go to, and that's the Element one, the Dead Man's Crawl. It hasn't been announced yet, like when it is yet. And there might be a format change, I guess, but I'd like to get down there. But I think I think
the Dead Man's Crawl is at the same place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So theoretically, I could get down there and just do a crazy footage overload, ship down like 3 trucks, and then when Proline happens, I can post video and stuff from the same location that it looks like I'm at Proline. No one would ever know.
Except that you just told everybody.
All 78 strong. Yes. But I don't know I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I'm assuming you'd probably.
Well, I'm kind of bummed when you told me about that because I was hoping to do the 24 scale stuff again at the Gauntlet,
Mhm.
plus other things that we want to do this year with it, streaming and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I would
I
rather.
kind of had told Scale Metal Supplies though that I really wanted to be a part of that buggy thing,
Yep. And
which
I
I don't
had.
know how much of a thing that is. So I'm probably
Well.
shouldn't have even said kind of what I did, but there's something that's not happening at any specific time
Well,
or
and I
place.
had talked about possibly running a booth there for him at Proline by the Fire.
So definitely messes up some scheduling.
Yeah.
I'm so good at calendars. I want to tell you, like, because Harley knows how good I am with calendars.
Well, we caught
He
this one.
told me the dates of my event that I was going to be at were way off.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah.
Well, we found out this 6 months in advance, so there's time.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm kind of bummed because the other date is the Monster Jam thing. I might not be at now because I'll be on a 2-week shoot in Texas. Just kind of sucks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yep. Missed my anniversary and my wife's birthday.
Ouch.
Yeah. Unless they just cancel it on us, which, as always, it's always a real world. It's a reality show. It's always a very real world possibility when you're dealing with reality show people that it could get canceled. So
What's in the box says, did the news or what do you say? The local news forget their camera, Tony? Interview with the king of RC, I guess, behind you.
I got my other cameras stacked. I just need
like
a spot when I've been working in my office here, redoing everything. That's the only safe spot for them when I redid my desk stuff.
Yeah.
So my other one's on the floor here.
Well, we should get.
This is the king one. This is the king of RC cam.
We should probably talk offline about, because I think it'd be nice to plan something together again. I think it'd be fun to. Harley goes. Proline by the Fire is probably my favorite event currently.
He also likes 10 scale stuff. So
it's true.
Yeah.
So when's Axial Fest Badlands for you?
End of June.
Okay.
Well, we need to pull up the calendar. They got it.
And you're going to that, right?
Well, it all depends on work, right?
Yeah.
I'd be in Israel for 3 weeks another time. It's like, it's crazy stuff, man. Since announcing that I was retiring from my other work, there's been like a steady influx of request things that I'm trying to choose between. But I can't do.
You guys can have the world's largest 24 scale event at the same time in your hotel bathtub.
Wouldn't that be freaking hilarious? We should get a suite and just like at Proline get a hotel suite with multiple rooms linked and just have like the doors open with like a crazy crawler
That would
course.
be really funny, actually. That'd be like Mr. Beast style. Like if we did a hotel and like the night before made our course with the paper mache or whatever. And
yeah, June 21 to 24 is Badlands. I should definitely be at that.
Shower Jam.
I need to start putting these in my calendar. July 19th through 22nd is the Axial Fest in Cali.
Right.
And then there's Proline by the Fire. And so, yeah, I mean, I got to talk. I got some contact info for some people at Horizon that I want to see if they don't have somebody else already running a 24 scale comp on just one of the days about doing one, which might land me at both of them.
That'd be cool. Well, segue number 2.
All right. Shower Jam. I do plan to be at the Monster Jam in Tennessee. To the people that are thinking, I was talking about the No Limit RC Monster Jam.
Yeah.
There's also supposed to be an event at the Monster Truck Hall of Fame I think that's in September.
So the reason why I was asking about Axial Fest for you, and this is a segue into Taco Chop.
Oh, Taco Chop.
The Taco Chop.
The Taco Chop.
So Tony and I got together and started talking about concepts and designs. And originally they were for Proline by the Fire Survival.
Which you could still fit in.
Naked and Afraid. I don't know what they're going to do. But yes, so...
Just have a bunch of drivers driving around naked in our trucks.
With leaves.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show up with a banana leaf. Be like, what's up, guys?
4-leaf clover, that bad boy.
Be like, what's up, dudes?
Yeah.
I'm here for the party.
August is the thing. Okay, so go ahead.
So it got me thinking because you sent me what the base is for your first Taco Chop build.
You have it?
Right here. So
it was a tough decision because I really wanted to do the element kit.
Right.
Except that this type of build that he's doing isn't going to be comp worthy.
No.
But it's totally trail worthy.
Totally trail
worthy. Where am I going to trail? And that'll be at
Axial Fest.
Axial Fest.
Right.
Where they don't, it's not all about comping.
Right. Right.
Although they do have some. And you get awards for it, but it's not what it's about.
Sure. Well, I was thinking you might still have an opportunity to get an award for concourse for this.
Oh, yeah. If I don't destroy it driving it, I have to save it until after concourse.
It'll make it look better. It'll make it look better.
All right.
So, but
it's always fun to win a concourse with somebody else's build.
Well, you know, it's all good.
One of the best things ever.
So, Taco Chop. I just started designing branding for it. Do you have 2 screens or just one?
I have 2.
I don't know if can you go to Teespring to pull up a second screen? I only have 1 screen.
Oh, okay.
So like if
my one screen that I'm using is big enough that I can have like 5 windows open on it because the resolution is like.
Here, I'll text you the thing.
Because you don't even have to have 2 screens. You just say that you want to share just a tab. And then you choose which one.
Okay, so I just sent you. This is my Teespring. Not to plug my Teespring, but it has the branding on it that is in question. So I came up.
If you want to get one, you should order it right now before he takes it down. Because I'm putting it up.
I'm not
taking. You might.
I already edited the artwork.
Oh, okay.
Sort of. Not only on the T-shirt. So I designed this logo kind of, I don't know if I would say as an homage to a motorcycle club. And I posted it, and I posted it for a while, and then I had someone say, you might want to be careful with that style because someone might take it the wrong way and yada, yada, yada. I get it, but I think it looks so cool. So the original one is on the sticker down below, but that's the other one. So the Taco Chop metal fabrication, I'm going to call it the Metal Club. So it has MC on it. But what's cool is those diamonds, the AR stands for argon for TIG welding, and the 7525 is for the MIG mix for MIG welding. So this is going to be the brand of what I'm doing with these custom builds. And what we're going to do is I'm going to document the design process, the build process, all that kind of stuff. And Tony sent me the parts, and I'm going to build it up based off of that. So
this is what you need to be grilling in at Proline by the Fire. If you're going to do any grilling.
Yep. I'm thinking I'm going to buy that and do all my building in that apron. So there it is, a taco with the cleaver, and homage to
buy one.
Kind of like the chop shop stuff. So that being said, the concept that we're doing for Tony's is going to be pretty rad. It's going to be rad. Kind of old school exo cage craziness. But I had that issue with people not with people, but it was just brought up and it was something that I had to think about because I didn't want some kid wearing a shirt that could get him in trouble. That's his outfit for Proline by the Fire. Yes, sir. But I didn't want some kid to get, beat up over having a biker gang colors represented and not. I mean, there's so many things you can appropriate from every kind of design. And so, it's like, but it was just something real that I kind of thought about. So I was like, I'll change it. So I took the patches off of it. The patchwork is what doesn't have the same color for a specific bike gang and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Was the first one more local 81 style?
Yeah. Kids get jumps over bike gangs.
The other thing that you have to do is you have to walk the trail the whole time with a taco and not eating it.
Yep. I'm just gonna rent a donkey and just have a donkey carry my battery packs.
Your burro.
Oh, he just saw the call 911 or the 1.9. That one's my favorite too. The other shirts that I have on there. I might buy 2 things, including the apron. I like the I Want to Believe one too. That one's my favorite. Have you seen that? Zoomed in on it. It's the sombrero UFO pulling up a guy with his RCs.
And this one's giving him the finger.
Yeah. I want to believe all about it.
1.9.
Yep.
For people that don't get it.
It's all right. It's all right.
Dude, you should show up wearing these. $100 if you do.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it all day. In my apron, all day.
And your apron with that on? No shirt under the apron?
And a sombrero.
Here we go.
Yep. All day. There's
Taco
some older
bar,
stuff.
RC.
When I used to do my live
you
show.
got tacos on your mind, my man.
I love tacos. Come on now. I like that Gapperoni one. That one never took off.
Gapperoni.
Pizza Co. Yep.
Scale Life, right?
All day. I need to design more.
That sounds like a school thing.
That's a school thing. I was just testing it out. I never took them off. Yes,
we
sir.
did watch dogs at our school.
I love it. So much fun.
Yeah, the Monster Truck RC Freestyle skull sombreroed.
The original.
Kind of,
Starbucksy.
Yep, Starbucksy.
Yep.
Very cool.
But so I changed the artwork. I think it's okay now. I'm not really concerned about it anymore. I think it's far enough away where it's not going to get someone jumped. But no, I'm excited for this build, Tony. I really am. And I am.
You have lots of builds to do. I'm sending you another build for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. That's going to be a rad one too. That might be a flag. I've been designing a flagship for the taco chop truck. And in my head, I should say. And it might be a flagship where I'm thinking about designing
like a food truck.
No, but designing a exo cage body. Yeah. An exo cage body that I would design to be working on the Enduro platform, the VS410 Phoenix platform, and like just different mounting points for them. But then that way people can just be like, I want this one and I want it to fit on a VS410 Phoenix, and I'd build it up because I have all the dims and send it out to them, kind of a thing. But I'm still kind of working the details out with that.
Kalen's right, but
I know.
I'm laughing at Super One-Handed RC.
What did he say?
Jack in the Box tacos are the best, worst thing to eat.
Oh, I had those 2 days ago.
I will say one of my guilty pleasures is the roller taquitos at 7-Eleven. those are pretty best worst to eat as well. They've
Yeah.
just been rolling all day. You don't know how long they've been on until you like bite in it and know how crunchy the shell is. Then you find out, oh, that's been on there for 2 days.
I
Pretty sure.
know.
Nah,
Yep.
I do like those though. My brother-in-law got me into them. He's like a super healthy guy, which is what made it really weird. I'm not a super healthy guy, but
Sure.
yeah.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah, I think I don't know.
Well,
I do want to say thank you to everybody though for sending so many comments and tips and ideas for the track.
yeah.
It did help me just look at things and think about it. I want mine to be free roam. It has to be
Right.
free roam. Just go anywhere. Like most outdoor terrain would be, like you just go wherever you want, kind of. And then,
Mhm.
certain things you can only approach and actually make it one way, but there's so many other approaches around that. So I definitely want that. I don't want things that are going to limit you to certain paths or bridges or, maybe one or two elements that are like that just to get you from one to another place.
Sure.
But so, yeah, so that's the main thing that I'm looking for, whether it doesn't matter the terrain,
Right.
which we're still like jury's out. My kids and I are still kind of going back and forth about, because I mean, the other thing is if we ever want to get rid of it, getting rid of the rock and the dirt's a lot more of a pain than
so
getting rid of the
my
other stuff.
backyard, I was saying I literally have tonnage of rocks back there.
Yeah.
And my wife always gives me a hard time. She's like, "What are you going to do if we sell the house?" And I'm like, "Market it as being a
Rock garden.
manicured hardscape back there."
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't know. What do you want me to do? Like, yeah, it's going to be sweet. Be like, look at all these cool rocks.
Yeah. Put a fire pit out there and it's like
Yeah,
little
it's
rock garden.
100%. I'd take the guardrails off of my track, smooth it out, put a fire pit in the middle, and be like, "Here you go, enjoy
Yeah.
your oasis." So,
Yeah.
but, so one of the things that I was wondering about is the event stuff.
Somebody needs to do a page that's called like rcevents.com and it just gathers
rchappenings.com.
all of the events that people are doing. But somehow, yeah,
Yeah,
like and then somehow segregates them. You can click and it'll take you by region or
or
state or so
crawlers,
have different tags
drags.
in it that allows people then to click the different tags and find it by year, by whatever, and so you can
Yep.
even look in past years. It'd be really good. I need to. My brother's really good at that stuff. I wonder if he can whip something up. But it would be really cool to have a place that you just know to go. Like I'm always going to different Facebook pages to try and find different things, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough because it probably has to. Like, how do you do it with all the smaller ones and
It would be just an RSS.
or
What's
maybe
it?
even just the RC Drive Nation RC Nation, like drive.rc
Yeah.
Nation. If they maybe they have an event tab in that and I haven't looked there.
The hard thing is so many of those are just specific to the brand. There's none that really cross-platform the brands like,
Yeah.
but Horizon is most of them, but yeah, there's a lot of other ones out there that,
And maybe if there is something for crawling and whatever type events.
yeah,
I'm probably not thinking racing because racing, there's stuff going on that's
yeah,
live does already does that for racing. And yeah, that would be really hard. That would make it really hard to keep up with because
yeah.
there's so many races going on the daily. This would be for bigger events where you you
Here's
hope
what
to
you do,
draw people
Tony.
in from other states, like national events.
I got it. Here's what you do. On your website, you charge $20 a year to people that put on these events, or to clubs, or to RC groups or whatever. And then you give them the RSS feed or whatever the uplink feed is,
Yeah,
and then they do it themselves. They automatically say, add this to Tony's calendar or to CCXRC calendar, and
yeah.
then it just populates your calendar.
So James Kettner, yes, Harley Designs puts a lot of info about upcoming events into his, but it's not a catalog.
Right.
To go back and try and find that video and then find the spot where he's talking about that event. So it's great for that week. If you watch it that week, that's
Yep.
awesome. But
Yep.
like when we're just now talking about dates and we're trying to look them up,
8 months
I was
out.
thinking, man,
Yeah.
it'd be really cool to just have like these are the happenings like this month. All the
Right.
different events happening are listed here
Yep.
that are, probably not the weekly comps. Like I wouldn't probably want to get into that. This would be the more,
Yep.
there's the creek one, and there's
Well, for people like us that
USGE and
yeah, for people like us that travel a lot, it would be really nice to be able to say, I'm going to be in Montana in 2 months. Are there any events happening in Montana? You know what I mean? And then you can just click and drop down on that and be like, hey,
just
there
a
we go.
thought that came to me as we were talking about stuff, and I was trying to pull up something real quick. I'm like, man, it'd be awesome if I could just go to like,
One source.
yeah,
Mhm.
rcevents.com and anything that was big, like a convention or
Harley's
anything that
buying
would
the
be that.
URL right now.
Yeah, he is.
Just a large bulletin board. Yep.
Yeah, but that gets too crowded because everybody posts every little thing.
And it's hard to
And
moderate
then
it.
you either have to be a moderator snob or
Yeah.
just
That's what I'm
needs one
saying.
person that's like that was wanting to keep a calendar. And I'm terrible at calendars, so I should be not the person talking about how to do this. I'm a creative type that hates organization,
Mm.
hates a lot of things. I like deadlines,
Deadlines are nice.
but yeah.
Hello, Amigos chat. Is there anyone in my Amigos chat right now? Sound off if you are. I see all chats, but I'm wondering if you are in the Amigos chat.
Yep.
I don't know if people are actually over there. I know people watch it on the after show. I get comments about that every now and then. Who goes to
Actually,
Montana
has a
on
calendar,
purpose?
don't they? Matt Higgins messaged me about gauntlet dates to post by January 1st. I don't know what that means.
No idea. No idea.
And he also says you're welcome. I don't know anything you're welcome to.
No clue. No clue.
Matt Higgins was from Axial, right? So he's doing their social media stuff and their media stuff. But Horizon had already posted their Facebook back in December.
Yeah, they were on it early.
Trying to pull it up here, see when because they've tagged it. But anyway, it'd be great to pull those. The other one that you're talking about, the death one or whatever that is. What's the one that?
Oh, Dead Man's Crawl.
Dead Man's Crawl Death. Yeah, December 23rd, they posted 2023 events. So that's going to be tough because I've been kicking people I know, not kicking, but I've been trying to stir up people at Axel and stuff saying, dude, this is a huge event. Like Gauntlet is one of the bigger events that goes on, in the year for crawling events.
Right.
Like it'd be cool to have some kind of and it's in your backyard basically.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then wait, when's the Gauntlet? Is it the 20th? I thought it was the 16th.
I thought it was the 23rd that weekend because I messaged on
we could have just totally, because we didn't have a calendar that listed all the events, and I just took Pablo's word for the date. I don't think it is.
I think it's this. No, I think it's because I mentioned that was my whole thing when I unless they changed it.
Let's make a whole bunch of confusion for people. The Gauntlet's happening in November. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that.
No, it couldn't be the end of November. That'd be so cold.
It's so beautiful in Michigan at November.
Lying. No.
Steelhead are hitting the streams and the rivers.
Nope.
The fishing is great.
You're lying. Don't lie.
My internet's not working. 22 to 23.
Yeah, it's the same time as that's the same weekend.
Yeah, it's the exact same weekend.
Yep.
I'm looking at the pages right now. So it's the same weekend as Proline by the Fire. So if the Axial people are going to the Proline by the Fire, that doesn't mean everybody from headquarters is going to go from Horizon. Being in Illinois, it's not a long drive up here for them. It's maybe 5 hours.
Sure.
It's less than a day drive.
Or how about you do a 24 scale one at Michigan? I'll do a 24 scale one in California, and we'll simulcast
You might have to
across.
drive my buggy.
Oh, well, I think I would like to be. I think if we could work, because I don't know what you've been talking about offline with anyone over there, but I thought it'd be fun to do a media crazy thing if we're both out there with cameras, live
Oh yeah,
stream,
we
all
should
that
be
kind of stuff.
rocking and rolling the StreamYard and have multiple cams on, and just
Yeah.
go to somebody out in the field. Like,
Yep.
all right, we're gonna check in on trail 2.
Dude, put a strap a phone to a car and just
Because you can
walk
totally
over
be
to that.
watching what the people are doing down there, and they can be listening to know that they're about to get called on
Yep.
while they're sitting in the not on screen. If we're like, I'm just
Right.
sitting here, but I can see that you've got your screen up and looking at a pretty cool car. And
Yep.
I'm like, all right, we're gonna go to Pablo on trail 2 and see
Yep.
what he's got going on, and then bam,
And I'll be like, we're
or
here
even
on
do it
trail
like
two. Blah,
this,
blah,
and then just like, oh, we just saw so and so pop up, check that
yeah.
out,
Yep.
and now he's,
Dude, that'd be rad.
oh, there's a guy taking a leak in the background. Let's cut away from that camera for a minute.
Yeah. Do some
So
hardcore producing.
yeah, so
Yep.
we could totally do something cool with it.
Yeah. I think that would be
My
rad.
internet works decently there out at the park.
Yeah.
Just on my straight up phone.
Right. Well,
Uh,
and I'm sure you could probably find something that you could rent a
well, you
bigger
can get
hub.
like things where you pair like multiple of the little hotspots
Yep.
together.
Yeah.
That's what we do for the media stuff, and
Yeah.
then it makes like a super streaming device
Yep.
for like
Yep.
TV feeds. But
Yep.
yeah,
Thank you. What's in the box? He's trying to post links to my YouTube. I'll see if I can do it.
yeah. Everybody go jump on his for a minute. Give him the watch time. He needs the watch time more than I do.
I need some watch time. Let me
And
see
the
if I
chat's
can.
more fun when there's more people in it. So jump ship over to the Amigos channel.
What's that called? A raid? What do those kids call it?
Can I post the link for Pablo's channel? Sure.
I just did.
Wait,
There's my channel.
look at that. Yeah.
Ooh.
So if you're watching, jump and watch it there. Get the chat flowing there. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I need to reach out to people, and maybe I need to reach out to Matt Higgins too from Axial about Axial Fest, but he's not the big event planner. I have a different name for that. I don't have said email for said person yet, but I have the name, so I could probably
hunt him down.
I know enough people there to get it. I just haven't. It's been stupid busy.
Yeah.
And then the internet being so problematic has sucked too. So
yeah.
But it's working. Yeah, thumbs up, everybody. Good feed for me today. Clear.
It's clear, and it's like I haven't seen any choppiness or any stuttering. Yeah, it's
Google Nest Pro, baby.
Yes, sir.
It's bringing the heat.
Dude, that technology is crazy now.
It's like the 6E or 2, whatever Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Like my Wi-Fi speeds are 5 times faster with the same exact internet coming in.
Yep.
It's unreal.
Makes
my uploads way better too.
We got one of those Apple Pods for Christmas, and it's crazy how smooth and easy it was to get that everything up and going, and it was pretty rad.
I want to know. Black Market RC said he sent us both.
Yeah, I saw.
Are we allowed to show that promo picture? It doesn't give too much info. Like you just kind of get an idea. He's teasing up the world, and I love it. What he's doing. Like there's other ones out there, but his is looking the best so far, in my opinion. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
My backyard course is probably, or my indoor course is probably not going to see any time spent on it until the weekend. So
I'm unfortunately my outdoor course is probably not going to see any time for months. I'm just planning it right now because I'm going to be tied to the shop for a couple builds. So that's my other thing. Not only am I building.
He says, yes, we can. Right, go ahead. Sorry. look on the scan the comments. You're going to be
not,
building
not
the
only am I going to
backyard.
be building yours. No, I'm talking about trucks now. I can't
Okay.
even touch my backyard for a while. I'm going to build your truck. I have one other major theme truck that I'm building, and then the Vanquish that I'm building that you're sending me out. And then I've also got a short course truck to build at some point. So
You need to get on that though for racing.
Well, the thing is that there's not a solid short course track or
Until summer.
well, there's not a solid short course field. Like they will allow it on the carpet, but there's not enough people running it. And I don't know if I'm going to build this and let my son run it, or I don't know what we're going to do. But I don't want to keep on renting. I want to get something that we can get consistent on. And actually, I really want to get stadium trucks, but I also don't want to go out and throw down all that dough. I was thinking I have an old red cat that was my daughter's that she said she's willing to part with. So that was the kind of red herring that I might build up and sell that one to fund some race cars. But it also depends on how fast I get yours out and how fast I get my other big theme build out to see if anyone else wants to jump on the taco chop wagon and have me build them a theme or a crazy car. I would build that kit if I build my 8-scale Kyosho. What?
He's talking with somebody else.
Oh.
He's saying he would build it if you build his Kyosho for him.
What's the buggy? Oh yeah. I'd be all about that. Fair. I'm all about it.
All right. Spoiler.
Boom.
Max Smasher upgraded. Dun, dun, dun. We're seeing some goodness underneath it.
Yes.
A little bit of chassis action.
I love
going down in there. Yeah, it looks really good.
Have you driven your Max Smasher yet?
Come on now. I haven't.
Why'd you have to hit me there?
Why would you do that?
the poop out your mouth. Poop.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Why?
Why'd you say that wrong, Burgundy?
It looks really good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Fantastic work. He says he needs to get his hands on a TRX4M. I would agree with you.
I would love to see if those axles would fit underneath this. Because the only thing I don't love is the portals.
Yeah.
Portals are my sticking point still with that. But pretty cool upgrade. Yeah, he sent a teaser shot, but he intentionally set it up so the wheels block a ton of his tees. Which is very smart, Jacob. Very smart. I like what you did there. What's the next local event you are going to? I don't know if Z's asking us or somebody else.
Who asked it?
Z.
Well, if it's me,
see you, Nick B.
I probably won't be able to race until the 11th. At best.
Okay.
And that's my next event. There's a U4 race this weekend, but it's just not in the cards for me this weekend. I got too much work to do.
I am going to be at the next Thursday night crawl event.
Nice.
They're coming up this week. And then I'm hoping so we're going ice fishing this weekend. I was bummed because this weekend they're having the monster trucks in Battle Creek again, and they were doing an RC show, and I got invited to do that again with the monster trucks, and I I'd save this because the next couple weekends I'm away. I'm going to Monster Jam and I'm going to USTE, and I also have like 3 or 4 company videos I have to do, like RC videos that I have to get done.
Sweet.
I still need to get back out with my Chronos with 6S. I got the 6S battery packs, but the truck wasn't driving right. Nothing to do with the stuff from Team Corelli, something with my electronics. And I think it's probably the receiver I stuck in was the one that I melted. That was in the Freestyle RC that I cleaned with that electric cleaner,
Yes.
CRC cleaner, and it melted the case of the. So I just stuck it in there, but there was so much snow packed in and around it, it probably messed up the receiver.
Oh.
So I need to steal a receiver out of something. So I don't know what yet. I've got a bajillion Spectrum receivers and stuff. So
I
so
did
many.
I did a funny ploy on one of my last videos of the trail fail video where I was like, Spectrum, if you're listening, because we were soaking wet, I was like,
Yeah.
we need to work out a deal. I was like, I need one of these waterproof receiver or transmitters.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, my radio is fine. It's the receiver, and it's because it wasn't in the casing, and
Yeah.
that cleaner I used probably ate through whatever waterproofing stuff was on that thing. You know what I mean? Like that stuff was potent. It just melted the plastic, just
You ever
straight off it.
have you ever used conformal coating?
Yep,
Yep.
I use acrylic.
Yeah.
So we use silicone.
Yeah. I use the conformal coating on my my receivers.
Do you do acrylic conformal coating or silicone
I
conformal
don't know.
coating?
It's toxic. I know that.
Smells fantastic.
Yeah, it's very pungent. I don't know what it is. It's just hardcore. I got it off Amazon. I like
Okay.
to take big hits off of it when I do it.
Yeah, so that's the next event. But I was hoping I want to go to one of the mini Z races. And they're on Friday nights. But we're heading ice fishing up in Cadillac or somewhere this weekend.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I got a lot to do life-wise before I get it's kind of you ever get that way where you're like you got a mountain of life work to get over before you can like RC kind of always creeps in, but sometimes I'm like, you know what? I really got to get this done. Like, and so I have a couple projects that I really need to finish.
Yeah.
And then that would allow me to get paid so I can then
Do more RCs.
do more RCs. Yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. I have to do my taxes. And that's
Ooh.
hanging over my head. And I got a lot of work to do on them.
Yeah.
The store stuff does not help make my taxes easier.
Oh, I bet.
Makes them sucky.
So sucky.
So,
I could quote
$5.
I can quote those movies all day. I made a new battery plate. So this is like a total Frankenstein build. I feel bad because this was sent to me a long time ago. And I never built it. And now it's time. And it's gonna be a pretty cool build, but there's like no real parts for it. It's the Italian carbon fiber chassis.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I made a bunch of parts for it, which is cool, but you know, it just takes that much longer to do. But it's my first like real low CG creeper crawly kind of thing. Upper left, that would be awesome. Chevy body for me, please. Is he talking about what upper left? New TR X4 body release. What do you think? Traxxas would release next.
I need to do a square body, man, or even a new Ford or something like a truck.
Yeah.
Like,
I would love to see a square
give us
body.
an actual truck body.
Yep.
And not like a just generic. Give us something cool and scale and hard bodied.
Agreed. I think I'm going to buy another one eventually. get one and keep one as a monster truck and keep one as a crawler. They were so capable.
Yeah. I need to put my links on it, but I'm already squishing the tires pretty good with just the weight
How heavy it is.
of the diff covers and stuff. Yeah, and that weight that it just carries already.
Yeah.
It's definitely got some tire flex. It's aired down. We're at 20 pounds, maybe 18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the
but give
way
me
down.
a Ford.
I'm not a Ford guy. You can take your Fords.
I have a Ford.
I know. I have 2 Chevys. Did I tell you what happened to my old truck? I went out to drive it the other day.
Uh-uh.
I went out to drive it the other day, and I was like, just kind of doing the pre-flight check, right? Pop the radiator cap. I was like, oh, I'm a little low on water. That's kind of strange. And started the truck, let it run for a few minutes, and I was like, what's this stream of water coming out underneath the truck? So I popped the radiator open again, and it was empty again. I poured some more in, and it just went right through the motor and went out. Yep, black market, freeze plugs. I was like, son of a. I was letting it run for a minute, trying to find where it was, and then all of a sudden I looked underneath, couldn't find it, and it's the freeze plug that's underneath the motor mount. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So that means I don't think I have to yank the motor to get it.
Is that because you didn't have antifreeze in?
I run because of the motor that I built for it, I run a very light mixture of antifreeze.
And so it's freezing and popped it.
Yeah. So
And
and
somebody still wants to magnet fish. That'd be cool.
what was crazy is that it wasn't really that cold yet out here. I mean, it was cold, but I've never had anything pop like that. But
have you eaten at Ford's Garage Restaurant? I haven't. Sounds like not a place I would expect to eat good food at, but I'm thinking they lie heavily on the nostalgia for the pull for wanting to go there.
right. Look at this. There's my battery plate, all out of aluminum.
Yeah.
So now my battery
really
goes
cool.
here.
Did you make that plate?
Of course
Is that
I did.
the one you made? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Send, cut, send?
No.
Yourself?
Myself. I have a CNC plasma router table.
Nice.
But
Very cool.
But it does not RC. How do I say it? The scale, it doesn't have that great of resolution. I mean, this stuff is
for big stuff.
Yeah, it's for like science and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll do all right, but it's not laser.
It's not meant for the really tight stuff. Yeah,
small. It's not laser. So
it's well themed and very good. I don't know where it is. Is it in Michigan, or are they all over this Ford place? So have you seen these Endura rock buggy chassis? Yes. I'm not a fan of the look of it. It's just really tucked and small.
Is that the one that Cape Crawlers did?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I've seen local people do it, and I've seen some people do it. It's very helpful.
Yeah.
Who was that? He probably did it.
It's a.
Yeah, he did it. The new Endura rock buggy.
Yeah.
It's really short. It looks like a Capra.
Well, it looks. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a moon buggy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not for
they
everyone.
Look pretty capable, super flexy, but I would rather see the I need to build one of the Olympus cages. I have one sitting here that nobody's bought that's still left on my shelf. And I want to build one that's an SCX-24. Because I gotta be honest, I do not like the FMS axles at all. Anything I run them on, they just run terrible compared to SCX-24 axles.
Terrible. Those are
So
strong words,
terrible.
Tony.
It's like you can't get around the courses. POE, and it does not do it well. So yeah, they just steer like bunk. They're portals, but I still hang up on everything, like just catch on everything. More my skid plate, because you have this false security of clearance because of them, and you don't pay as much attention to tire placement, I feel like, because of that. And then all of a sudden you just, I'm clearing this, and then wham, you're stuck on your skid plate. But yeah, I like the TRX4 axles. They steer really good. I actually really like the Hobby Plus ones. Like for portals, I feel like they are better than the FMS ones. They steer better, in my opinion.
I'm so lazy.
I could be wrong. This is not a scientific. I haven't done tests with them. But just a use it. Like I've tried comping with my FMS ones, and I just do terrible. And it's not because of hitting gates necessarily, but having to reverse all the time to make the gates and the next gates. There's not the overdrive, so they don't like pull up the hills as well. There's just a lot of things that I think the SCX-24 is an awesome platform when built out, and that's just where kind of my allegiance lies in the main use of things. So I would rather have all this to say, I want one of those metal titanium cages, that style, that longer rock bouncer style on a comp truck that is more capable than the FCX-24 axles. Sorry, that was a long way to say that. I went we meandered a bit, I would say, and we stopped to write many long books on our journey, and then we finally
journaled it. Yes. I have no experience with that platform. Zero. And I was gonna say I feel bad because I'm kind of lazy. I've been pretty lazy lately when it comes to my 24 scale stuff. So I had that truck, like after I did those videos of putting your stuff on it, and I broke 2 axles, and I haven't replaced them with good axles.
Is it because you're binding up like in rocks and forcing it, or
no? So one of them I think I just broke because it was time for it to break, the stock one. The second one I broke was first one I broke was the dog bone. The second one I broke was the cup. But it was
the cup broke? Holy cow.
But it was the cup that broke the first dog bone. So it was like I was just kind of like so I've been very lazy and reluctant to get back into it. And it's an easy fix. It's like a $10, $15 fix. I was going to go with Mofos. I actually
universals.
Yeah, I was going to go with those. And I asked him a question because I was asking him a question about a motor for Dalton's Masha truck. And it took a while to get back to me. And then I just
forgot.
Sure.
I was on his live stream on Monday night for a long time, really late.
Yeah, I saw.
It just happened. It was just Brick killed a guy. I know. You need to talk to him about that.
It just happened. Stuck a guy in a chest with a trident.
But upper left's right. He's like, don't build a truck on stilts. Be a better driver.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about it. Like what I like about the TRX4M is that it's not portals. I think it's a great truck. I like the bodies too much to change them. Like, so that's my hard part about the TRX 4M is they're heavy, lumbering, but awesome and fun trucks to drive.
Yeah.
Not like they won't comp like some of the other ones in the same type of things because of the bodies, which I refuse to give up on because look at that beautiful thing. I just want to drive it and watch it drive. This is my trailing. I love to trail with the TRX 4M.
Right.
That's what I love about it. It just looks so good and realistic as it's moving. Doesn't mean that it performs as well as my comped out trucks. No, but I don't want to give up the awesomeness that this is in order to do that. So that's my thoughts on that.
You're going to love the 10 scale heavy body truck then. If you love trailing with something like that, the heavy body truck is so rad because it's like it cavitates like a real truck when it's like bouncing up a rock, and when you slow crawl it, you can see it like stretch for the next rock kind of a thing. Oh, I love it. I love it.
The so Traxxas, here's David Ferris. I need to do a nutshell video. Like, here's the RC market in a nutshell, especially from the mini crawler world or mini truck world.
Sure.
But here's the nutshell of it is that. So David Ferris is saying it's frustrating. They're going to nickel and dime you on everything with the TRX for him. A lot of the stuff price point wise is very little. $5 for gears, like transmission gears, is insane. It's super easy to swap them out. Takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. Takes about 5 minutes to swap them out. They build these trucks for not RC people. If you're in here watching the chat, Traxxas did not build the TRX 4M for you.
It's true.
They didn't.
It's
like
100% true.
They know you're going to buy it and you're going to do all the stuff you want to. They built it for the kid that's buying one. And if he got one that had the crawler gears in it, he would say it sucks. Whatever words his parents allow him to say after the word sucks is what this kid is going to say. Right? That's where it's at. And for $5 to be able to turn it into a really awesome slow crawler is pretty amazing.
Right.
That said, some of their upgrade parts are very, very crazy expensive.
The shocks that I was looking at, I thought it was it the shocks that were like something I remember looking at? I was like, what? Like,
yeah,
there was like 10 scale price.
They build their stuff to excite somebody new to the hobby. And slow doesn't necessarily excite that person.
Sure.
They also don't build it to be fully capable because there's people. My big thing with the Axial AX24 complaint is really the people complaining about it. Like they're my biggest complaint about it. Like, okay, it's not your thing, whatever. Move on. Like, you don't need to tell everybody it's not your thing, is or isn't, whatever. You can, it's fine, say it. You don't have to. But some people were like really pissy about being disappointed and a whole bunch of stuff.
I know.
But then about the parts, and I have to say it, the people that complain the most about the parts that they put in it, the servos that they put in it, are going to be the first ones to complain if they sell it for $200 and they put in better servos that are still not as good as a Reefs 99 or NSDRs. They're going to want to put theirs in, and then they're going to moan. I'm trying to be somewhat cautious in it, like not be too like pointed with the words.
Yes.
They're going to moan about it because they had to pay extra for parts that they're not going to use because they're not good enough.
Right.
So instead, Axial kept it Mitch and Bone. Yes. They're going to Mitch and Bone David Ferris about it. And then they're going to, so it's better off. So here's what the SCX24 is in my mind. It is basically a glorified roller, right? but it runs so that the person that isn't in the hobby, again, it's the not us,
Right.
can buy it off the shelf and drive it. The us get it for a really good price, and we can do anything we want with it. Right? We can buy all the upgrades. We can make it into the RC that we want it to be, like it's a kit.
Right.
That kit just comes with, and honestly, and people are like, well, just sell us a kit without. They did it with the LMT. Nobody bought the LMT kit. Why?
There's more
Because
value. Yeah.
there's way more value in getting one that runs, because they're not going to chop the price that much. If they got rid of the motor and if they sold it as a roller and got rid of the ESC, whatever, it would probably be $140, $150. It's going to be a very minimal savings on it. And the people that buy it in the hobby shop aren't going to buy that, because no matter what, we want it to roll. And the other thing is, we're going to turn around and flip that stuff on eBay.
That's exactly what
we
I was
don't
going to
use
say.
to get money for the parts that we want to put into it, or already have
or to
receivers and whatever, right?
Yep.
So it's people just look at it the wrong way. Like, they're trying to bottom out the price as low as they can. They're all like, oh, they're being greedy with it. Really? They don't have that many upgrade parts for it, right? They're not trying to sell the world in upgrades. It's you and I and everybody else that's on the market that are making upgrades for them that really push that market forward. And they're just hoping that people do that, because the second that they get that aftermarket support, then they've got something, because people are buying them and then they're getting into it. The worm gears is another thing. Like, oh, I wish it had a ring and pinion like they developed that. Well, guess what? You're going to get these huge diffs if you're going to have that. They hang up on everything.
Right.
Like, or you're going to have a really small ring and pinion in there that are just going to strip out because it's going to be so hard to mesh. So it's like, we got to think about this stuff before we just start complaining about everything needing to be changed and whatever. Like, they're good they did the part that they needed to different and made it 4-steer. And most Broncos aren't going to be 4-steer. No. So what are you going to do? You're going to do a rock buggy of some sort.
Right.
A throwback is cool. Like, to one of the first crawlers that got their brand going is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Worm gears are also freaking indestructible. Like, it's automatic drag brake. If they were making a rock bouncer, maybe change it. Maybe those axles aren't what you want.
Sure.
But for crawling stuff, they're so solid. Other than, like you said, maybe breaking dog bones. But honestly, the dog bones that Axial sells are the strongest ones you can get for that axle. Like, even the ones I sell, I wouldn't say are as strong as the stock ones. The only problem is you can't get the stock ones unless you buy the axle.
The whole axle.
Sometimes what I do, I just buy the whole axle because it's kind of cheaper.
Well, it's only $24 or something like that for the whole axle.
Yeah. For the rear, right? I think the front's 30. Or is it?
I think it's not that much.
It's pretty cheap. Anyway, so that's in a nutshell, how some of this works. And I don't have any ins and outs, or they don't tell me any of that. But just in my years of watching how it works is what I've gathered, because there isn't really a market for kits that's very big anymore. Because us racers wanted them, and then we didn't buy them. We all bought the ready to runs.
Right.
Because the savings was only the cost of the ESC and motor, and you were still stuck needing a servo, receiver, transmitter, all that stuff. So,
and it bums me out a little bit.
And the body too, like, right? For the LMT, just getting a body is almost the price difference.
Yeah. It's crazy how expensive just the body is for a lot of those cars, like.
Sorry to rant on that for a second.
No, you're good. And
I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of it that day. I was watching this stuff. I'm like, these are the insiders, because they're on the post talking about it, and they don't get it. Like, they're like the big time RC world people, and they don't understand at all how this is working. Like, and it's all to benefit us in many ways, right? Like, the cheapest stuff on it, the fact that it just rolls when we get it is nice.
Right. No, and I think, to your point, the thing that I think a lot of people, like, the demographic that's in here is not the demographic that a lot of the entry-level cars are towards. It's like I'm not going to tell a first time RCer to go out and buy an Element truck that has IFS. I'm not going to tell them to go out and buy a Traxxas that has locking and unlocking, blah, 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 because they're not going to know how to fix it. It's going to be freaking, it's going to freak them out if something breaks. I'm not going to tell them to go buy, it's like, but, those entry, they come with the other thing I think people don't realize too is that markets like that are training people on how to grow the market. So if it has a crappy servo and it blows out, if it has a crappy motor and it blows out, guess what? You can buy a stock replacement or you can buy an aftermarket one, but either way, you're learning how to work on your car. And for those 24s, it's so easy and so small. And the investment, I think that's the thing, is that the 24s, I don't know, but I feel like the 24s were a look how easy and how cheap this hobby can be,
Yeah.
right? When you blow up a servo back before they had the other servos that came out, even the aftermarket better servo was only $8 or $10 or whatever it was, right? Or maybe it was $16 for the, I don't remember, but you know which one I'm talking about. I don't even remember what the name of it was, but we had them. And to be like, I could go to the hobby shop and throw down $30, get a new sets of tires, a new servo, and come out of there and work on my car for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Versus, some of these tent scales, one part is $80.
One of the things, so I realize this about myself, and everybody's different. Like, I'm not a buy wheels and tires kind of a guy.
Uh-huh.
It's just not me.
Sure.
However, the 24 scale market is different for that for me because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Like, you can get a set of tires for $20, like
Easy.
all four.
Yep.
You can get like aluminum wheels for $30. Like, and once you have those, then you just swap different tires. Like, you can do it inexpensively. Where 10 scale, you're looking at $100 for tires, $100 for wheels, like plus maybe.
Easy
You can do
100 bucks. Yeah.
Amazon, whatever. It's expensive, so you can't just keep trying things.
Right.
And I think that's what I found in the 24 scale that I like, is that it allows me to try more things because it's more inexpensive. Now you can build expensive trucks.
Sure.
But again, if you're going for that same thing with brassing out everything or doing it like on a 10 scale, I was talking with Jason, it's like $1,200, like, right, for a comped out truck.
Oh yeah. Or
Yeah, some
even
more,
a
but
well, a comped out truck or even a dollhouse truck. You're at
oh
that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, easy.
Hi, Tony. The first step is admitting you have a problem. Tycho for life.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, there's a lot to think about. It's not as easy as we all want to make it be and simplify some of it.
Right.
But there's a lot more than even what I just said that goes into their decisions. A lot of the decisions are been in works for 16 months that we don't even know about, and we're like, oh, they just saw somebody do this, so they wanted an answer to it. It's like, it doesn't work that way. Like,
No, yeah.
it's not just an answer to it. They've been working on this, and maybe they did a quick release because they're trying to, have an answer to it, but it's been in the works,
Yeah. 100%.
So it's and I actually wrote the Axial people, some of them, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry that we're like this. Like,
You're so
you guys,
self-deprecating, Tony.
well, it's like, yeah, that you guys have to deal with this. Like, all it is like spewing hate at you all the time.
Right.
Like, how
Right.
fun is that to design stuff for people that hate you
Right.
anytime you release something that's not exactly what they wanted?
Sure.
It'd be the worst. Like, it must suck the life out of them for RC in some ways,
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you just get too close to it that it just is no longer. And so I was like, dude, I just appreciate, what you did. Like, I see the benefit, and me and my buddies were excited, and we were all like in the chat talking about like, dude, finally we're getting 4 steer out of the box. And
Yeah.
that's going to make force steer that we want to do more of a thing because everybody has access to it. And yeah. Any
Agreed.
updates taking on the sled pull stuff? Yeah, the Hack Fab already showed pics of a truck video of something pulling a sled.
Nice.
And said that they are taking over production of them from JS Chassis Works, which is where mine is from. So you want to be following Hack Fab. They're going to have, it looks like maybe carbon fiber or G10 is what they're going to make them out of instead of the board stuff that we have, the fiber board or whatever the nicer,
fiberglass.
expensive, board is. But it's unnecessary for a 10 scale to have it be that stuff. That's an expensive way to do it. And that's it. So yes, follow Hack Fab for updates on the 24 scale pull sleds if you're interested in them.
Sweet.
They had a post for it. I shared it on my Facebook page. So
Facebook.
Yeah, my Facebook. I still like Facebook. For the groups. I need to get back on Drive Nation or RC Nation.
I tried, and I just never stuck with it.
Just one more place to go that makes it tough. It's a really cool platform, but I just haven't made it a thing, and I need to because I think it's pretty cool. But it also became hey, here's my YouTube video posting board, which if we see it, if we're on YouTube, we see it posted up.
Yep.
Everybody throwing it out there one more time.
I know. I have been doing that in our local group for my YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
I feel kind of bad about it, but I'm still just trying to grow it. So I'm like, so be it. So be it, Tony.
No one likes Facebook. Yeah, it's convenient. I would agree with that upper left. I like the designated groups. I don't have I have a personal one. In fact, a bunch of people have been friending me on it, and I'm not making it for RC, so I'm not it's not that I don't like you. I don't actually honestly use it. The last post I had was about getting this camera here set up for 2023 and filming some cool stuff with it. So big goals for it. But
you're like, it's not that I don't like you. I just don't want to talk to you.
It's for old people stuff, like the people I went to school with, film school, and that I worked with in the past. And yeah. So there's some people that snuck through already back in the day. Mm-hmm. So you might see people that are friends, mutual friends because of Tony CCXRC. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it separate. And honestly, if you really want to follow stuff, it's all through the other one. That's where I comment the most. I log into the other one maybe once a month. So I have a couple people, Harley Designs, that message me on that other profile. And I miss it because I don't ever check those messages. Film school to film RC. So yeah, that's what happened. Well, I did filming for producing I still do it, but I've been doing it for 16 years, 17 years, something like that. Video production and photography, but more photojournalistic, all over the world stuff, mainly humanitarian type things, war, poverty, drought, nation, like when there's different needs, that kind of stuff. But yeah, then been doing TV stuff and other things as well, and then still do it. But I'm trying to make it more. All this kind of happened. It was kind of a release. Like I was doing videos about making videos, and everything was about video, and it just got boring. I got tired of it, and it wasn't fun. But filming my RC cars,
that's always fun.
It's so freaking like I watched that movie,
the flying cars,
and I was like, that was my life.
I kind of feel bad now.
That happened to me.
I feel a little dirty.
and I was trying to take it off the big jumps with like the BMX guys watching, like, hey, can you send it off that? Sure. Come back with broken A-arms and shocks like busted in half.
Does it get sick air?
Right. I didn't ever try to do any competitions and win money or anything like that, but
you would have.
there was the whole filming it for YouTube thing where you're doing stupid stuff and filming it and laughing and making like crazy cut up videos.
So speaking
Yeah.
of filming for YouTube, this is just a quick, maybe we end on this. It's not
Yep.
very exciting,
We
but
are at that 2-hour mark.
I had teased about me being an outlaw now. Did you see that video that I sent about filming in national parks now being
Yes.
illegal? Like not illegal, but you have to get
Permission
permits?
because you can make money on it, and so it's permitted filming.
Yeah. I was
Yep.
like, well, how's that going to work? Is YouTube going to create an algorithm that makes it so
Just don't say where you are. It's just trees,
Yeah.
right?
Hey guys, I'm just out in the wilderness
Yeah. On my property
on my property.
that I own because I pay the government,
Exactly.
right? That's the
Like,
crazy thing.
yeah.
Well, it's crazy too that really they wouldn't want you driving it there. Like if you really look at the stuff, like vehicles, like because of people with bashers and stuff that can hurt people, it just kind of lumps so many things into it. Like,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
I know. And that's kind of what the thing that I was like, I could see the not driving them there, but
hey Jacob, Black Market, good night.
I don't think that's a take it easy, Black Market. I don't think that's terrible. Like we're pretty good stewards of our land when we're out there. You know, we pick up the garbage that's not ours, all that kind of good stuff. But man, I don't know.
Harley's lurking. Tony
Uh-oh.
wanted to be a big jumper. I didn't have a female lead out in the woods with me trying to tell me not to do that.
Don't do
As
it.
being dumb.
Don't do it. That's awesome. Don't
Yeah,
use
so you do have some problems, you Mr. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.
I know. So what do I do about that? Just do it and see what happens?
How do they expect us to know that? Like, so that guy posted a video, but everybody's supposed to watch YouTube and know that that's an actual rule. I would just be like, oh, sorry. Like, I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But it's also probably when you show up with the second you start putting a tripod down, I think that's when you run. That's when I run into problems. Like,
yeah.
So when I travel around the world, guess what? Nope. Oh, yes, this one right here. This one goes around the world.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to go through customs and do a carnet form.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff. The second that you show up with this, you also have to have permits.
Yeah.
But everybody's walking around with that. Right? So I don't take that one or this one on those. When I had a 2-year contract to travel around the world filming projects for this TV company. And I was just like, they had FS7s, which is this one's bigger brother, which is what I was going to get. But I just wanted, this is a little more handheld.
Yeah.
Same sensor, whatever. And I was just like, I don't want to like, because every time you go, you have to go to a customs agent before you go. You give them a paper spreadsheet or a thumb drive, and they check. You have to have every piece of gear you're taking with you and a serial number for it, where you bought it, cost, all that kind of stuff, because they're going to export it. And then you import it into the next country. When you land, you have to go there and they have to sign off it as being imported. And before you leave in that country, you have to do it. If you lose anything, guess what? You're paying like taxes on it because they think you're bringing it in to sell the stuff.
Oh,
that's what they're worried about, is that you're going to sell it without any, they're not going to get any tax money for it.
Right.
So then you have to export it from that country. And the worst part is you get there for your flight, the customs places aren't open.
Right.
but your
Right.
flight's not waiting for you.
Right.
So you can't do early morning flights. So you have to get there early when the airport opens. Try to find somebody that even knows what this form is that you have. Oh, like
So Harley's
it's the
saying
worst.
Harley's saying that the permit fee is $0 for 1 to 2 people. However, it's the
Yeah, when you get
going
multiple people.
well, it's going through the process, right? Like one of the things I saw said it was a 30-day process. And it's like, I'm not going to do a
But can't
permit.
you just get a blanket one for the month if you know you're going? Just put in a bunch of dates that you're filming.
I don't
My
know.
filming is going to be these days, and just
Yeah.
for the
I don't
series,
know.
I'll be here these days, and just put in a bunch.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to have to, um,
But there's so many people like camping in vans and doing all this stuff that that does impact. There's so many vloggers hitting the.
well, and what the question I posed is like, what happens to the person that takes a video,
They're
doesn't
going
have
after the drone people too, though. Like that have been
well,
posting
drones have
stuff.
been outlawed and not outlawed, but have been, you can't fly a drone in a state park without
But any of the
serious
stuff, the
permits.
crazy stuff they're doing with buildings and all those dives
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff, like yeah,
Yeah. So, but what I was going to say is that what if you're this is the question I posed. What if you're a person takes a video, you don't have a YouTube channel yet, you make a video, your video goes viral, and then all of a sudden you start making money off of that video, but you didn't have a permit.
no, you're supposed to have it. So if you, a lot of times this is where it's gray areas, and as a film person, I had a hard time. Well, so many people even put in the 1, 2, 3, like the little clips, and they think because they only use
Oh
like
yeah.
10 seconds that it's
Right.
okay.
Right.
Like, really, no,
Right.
like it's not. And you're making money off the video using this stuff. It's not fair use. Like you're trying to claim fair use on it. It's not. It's you're using it for a little joke thing you're doing. You're not using it for
Right.
educational purposes. Like,
Right.
just like the musicians, if you have it just playing in the background, it's not like you're playing it, but the store or whatever is, they're going to get you for it, right?
Yep. Yep.
All of those places could do it for their videos if you use it, if they want to go back. And so many people, that's why I refuse to put any of those little snippets in
Yeah.
from movies or anything, sound bites, like them saying stuff, because they could come and take it, the money from you. But
Right.
um
But see what I'm saying is like if you're not doing it and your intent wasn't to
you're
do it.
supposed to have releases for people. If you're like highlighting people in it, like they're a highlighted person, you should have a release saying that you have permission to use them in your video.
I get
If
that.
you're distributing it and you're making money on it, you should also have location releases. So if
Okay.
you're at a building or somebody's, it's owned by somebody, you should, and it's highly featured in your video, you should have location permitting. Now there's public space uses and different things that, yeah. So Go Man goes like, hey man, where's my release? I know,
Yeah.
like he was joking about it before about, um, yeah, doing some royalties for being in the videos. Which I could split that $2 that I'll probably make on that video with you,
Yeah.
give you 10% on it. So yeah, it's a weird thing because it's if you're gonna sell any of it to like B-roll supply sites, you got to
Sure.
have releases for
Well,
properties and
I
anything
get
for it to
all of
be used
that.
commercially.
I get all of that. But like for instance, if I'm out there making a video and it's just me and the kids and we're doing and I don't have a YouTube and I make a video and it was something cool, a big adventure, and then I create that video after the fact and
It all
post it to
depends if you're
YouTube.
making money on it, because if you're just
Right.
they're gonna like, how do you differentiate between YouTube or because you are using it on your Facebook just for personal? Like some people just use YouTube for personal stuff, right? It's a
Right. Right.
gray area, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The business law of all of this is very. So I have a master's degree in communication arts, and it's just as confusing in classes when you're talking with professors and people that have studied this for a long time,
Sure.
unless the lawyers, even because the lawyers speak makes it so confusing. Um,
Live streaming verbiage is binding. I'll be back.
Yeah.
10% of your 10%.
Right.
Monster Madness says, does the bog hog or king sling work in deep snow? I just picked one up. Depends
I need
on
to
how
put his
deep.
link in my description still.
Oh,
The Go Man Go for his YouTube.
so
We'll get you some
my
subs.
king sling did awesome in the snow, but I would say 6 inches max.
Oh yeah, you can't go deep.
Yeah.
But that's the most cars because
Oh yeah.
even with paddle tires, you're gonna
Bottom out.
bottom out and dig in. Like you can run the top for a little while, but yeah.
Yep.
Josh Martin got my wall hangers up, loving them. Dude, I'm loving them like crazy. Like I hang them all. The Traxxas ones are definitely a tighter fit, which I wish they all were.
Yeah.
So it kind of pushes the links out a little, and then when it hits the axle, they kind of pop back. But it snugs it on there. Like you can smack it and it won't come off. I need to redo some of them, but I found that they work with multiple different ones. So the Traxxas ones actually work with the Element axles, RGT.
Oh, really?
And the FMS ones work with, well, they're all the same. FMS, never mind. Those aren't special. But the Traxxas one, there was something else that worked on them. But anyway, we should get ready to wrap up here.
Yes, sir.
You went into the legalese side of it at the end there. So I hope you guys are all bored by that on the way out.
Bored to tears.
You get me. I
feel
good.
Good.
2 of those rant type things tonight.
I got this to a point where I can put electronics in it.
I like it a lot.
So I'm happy about it. So this one will be crawling soon. I've got to trim the body up. I don't know if you can see that green line's where I'm going to trim the body. So I got to trim that back so I can have full articulation. Trim the back fenders a little bit more. And then paint. I'm going to keep it simple. I might do a little small interior, but I'm going to keep it simple. You probably can't see it, but I made this plate back here, and this is where my ESC and receiver is going to go up high. So when I'm on trails and I want to go through water, everything's up there. It's my snorkel. My snorkel. I might do a roof rack.
ESC.
Yeah, I might do a roof rack. We'll see.
Ooh. I think you should just do a textured top, like a cloth. Make it look like it's got a Herbie type top.
Oh, like a rag top that you can pull it back. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I just
strips of something across. Old glow sticks underneath it. Just glue them down and then put the top so there's a little bit of a bump in it.
Yeah,
I can be smart with some art stuff too sometimes.
Ooh, I would use welding rod because it would form. But just saying,
glow sticks form pretty good.
It might be a little big. That'd be like a 2.5 inch diameter scale.
I use all my welding stuff though because I put it all onto the product. All of it. All right. I'm just checking any last comments. Paisley, there you go. Go man go.
The Explorer Pass includes ability to film in state parks without limits. I didn't know that. I have that.
Oh, there you go.
I already have that then. Boom, done.
That's cool. Might not give you permission to drive your cars in them, but whatever. David Ferris, am I getting the Primal Gravedigger? No. Oh. I'm drooling over them all.
Yeah.
All the videos of them. But we're going small this year. There's a lot of small coming. I've got a Scale Rat small TRX 4M coming too that I'm excited about. So
I should make a t-shirt that says I'm gonna punch you in the baby maker and sell it, and that'll fund your Gravedigger build.
I should fund your Gravedigger build. I want to see it sit on the top of that shelf where you have to take it down every time.
Yeah.
I just have to figure out what locked up in mine. If it's the main gearbox or one of the axles, something's stuck. Something's pissed off at the world. Came to a screeching halt. So Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Peace out.
Peace out.
I'm gonna shoot him with a BB gun.
Nah, he doesn't even have one. You're gonna shoot your eye out first.